That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic. Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther.
Up for sound bites. This is awesome.
Alrighty, welcome back to Anti-Religious Scripture Study with me, Karen B, and of course, just Jack Flat Earth.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome back, y'all. Sorry we're late. We both, kind of spaced out, lost track of time, but here we are. Better late than never.
Yeah, no stress. Just, do it when we get to it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go through my disclaimer. Just checks disclaimer to the religious. If you believe it's wrong to study the scripture outside of your religion or denomination, if you believe your religious leaders or church fathers are incapable of having inherited anti-scriptural traditions of men, if you've already made up your mind about scripture, including the scriptures shouldn't be studied at all, then this stream is not for you. To others, if you are open-minded to others' opinions, if you haven't made up your mind about scripture, if you've been turned off to religion but believe there's truth in scripture that may have been changed or hidden by religion, if you live according to scripture and like to dig in and discover more, then this stream is for you. We are looking at scripture in the original language using concordances or dictionaries for root words as well as context from a non-religious perspective. We will as well have life experience discussion. We are not here to argue with others about theology or doctrine by the traditions of men, including Catholicism, Christianity, or Judaism. We will be discussing the importance of origins and show how religions contradict the scriptures. There we go. So this is where the scriptures kind of like jumps off and starts a whole new conversation, a new history, if you will, of what was happening by the neighboring of those they were crossing through. Because remember, they're going through the desert to the promised land, right? They haven't arrived there yet. They're getting close though, because they're starting to go to war with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I was talking about this last week, that this is not something that's talked about very much in fundamental circles. I'll just leave it like that. And I found it interesting when I got into this, reading the scriptures for myself and whatnot, that this is a very, very, very interesting story. And the only thing I knew about this story, just to give you a context of what we're about to get into, is I heard in church that, God can use anything. He even spoke through a donkey. This is the only context I got of this story, but it's actually a quite interesting story that asks a lot of questions, which change the typical fundamental beliefs of what it means to be a follower or a communicator with Yah. And we'll get into that as we get into this. And I think it's a couple of chapters long. Let me just really quickly check here. Yeah. So it is 22, 23, and 24 that talks about these characters. So it's going to be
Interesting.
an interesting detour from what we typically talk about. What we typically talk about is they're going through the wilderness. The Israelites complain, and Yah calls them out on it again and says, no, I picked Moshe and Aaron to lead the way, and, deal with what you have. Be happy with what you have. Don't complain about your food and your water,
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. So let's see.
Before we get started, I want to say thank you to Justin Johnson for gifting 5 memberships to the YouTube channel. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Awesome, and thank you. Okay, so 21, we had King Arad, and we also had the bronze serpent. That's another thing that we looked at.
Yes.
And the symbology of the seraph, meaning the fiery or the poison, and the bronze, meaning the what's the word? Reflective, intuitive. What's the other word? My gosh.
Divination.
Divining. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Sorry for the long pause, folks.
It's okay.
So yeah, divination, brass, bronze, they're all the same word. So that's something that people should really consider when they're reading this chapter, and what it could or could not mean. So we'll leave it at that. Oh, I did forget to mention that there were people who, because of that one story, actually made an idol, a bronze serpent that they worshipped. There was literally a group of people that worshipped a brass snake on a stick just because of that one chapter. So just be careful how you interpret things to say that, oh, this is what we need to look at. We need to stare at brass serpents, and it can get crazy.
Yeah, people
just
be doing
be
weird
careful.
stuff.
Be careful. Yeah. All right. So we can get into Numbers 22 now. And let me pull up my parallel really quick. There we go. And go ahead and read whenever you're ready.
All right. And the children of Israel set. Oh, wait. Whoops. I'm in the wrong version. I can already tell. And the children of Israel set out and camped in the desert plains of Moab beyond the Yarden of Jericho.
Okay, so when they say beyond the Yarden, is because when the history was written down, they're looking back from where they were, right? So this is very important for well, how could they be beyond the Yarden if they're on the previous side of the Yarden? Because the history was re-recorded at least once when they came out of Babylon. So just to, give you a context there. And then verse 2.
And Balak, son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites.
All right, so they just got done defeating them in the previous chapter. And like I said, this caused, we're talking about a ragtag bunch of travelers, right? It's not like they have their own city or their own army, but they were defended because Yah was with them. And even though they tried to just pass through, the people were like, no, we're going to go to war. And they're like, all right,
Yeah.
Verse 3.
And Moab was exceedingly afraid of the people because they were many, and Moab was in dread because of the children of Israel. And Moab said to the elders of Midian, now this company is licking up all that is around us, as an ox licks up the grass of the field. Now Balak, son of Zippor, was sovereign of the Moabites. Is our connection
it says my internet connection's bad.
Oh. Ugh. Well, I hear you now.
Okay, so I'm still here, but I don't know how well I'm here because I can hear I'm already starting to break up. Hopefully we're still good. All right, so he's seeing that everywhere they go, people are just getting wiped out, right? Now, of course, he doesn't have the context of we asked to go through nicely, right? He's just seeing that there's this group of people that are just walking through the wilderness and wiping out nations left and right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Verse 5.
Well, now Balak and son of Zippor was sovereign of the Moabites at that time. I don't think I finished that part. And he sent messengers to Balaam, son of Beor, at Petor, which is near the river in the land of the sons of his people, to call him, saying, see, a people has come from Mitzrayim. See, they have covered the surface of the land and are settling next to me.
All right. So Beor is
a lamp.
The father of Balaam, and Petor is a place in Mesopotamia. So we don't actually have very good context of this. Who is Beor and who is Petor?
Right.
We don't actually have a good context of that. I didn't actually do a deep dive in it, but Balaam is not of Israel, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's also not of Balak, okay? So he's someone that's separated from all the other people, and his name means without people. So that's interesting, that he may not have people. I don't know if his people were gone, or I don't know. It's very off contextually. But anyways, verse 6.
All right. And now please come at once. Curse this people for me, for they are too strong for me. It might be that I strike them and drive them out of the land, for I know that he whom you bless is blessed, and he whom you curse is cursed.
So Balaam is someone who is known that he's really good at blessings and curses, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you bless someone, they become super blessed. If you curse someone, they become super cursed. All right, verse 7.
And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian left with the fees for divination in their hand, and they came to Balaam and spoke the words of Balak to him.
All right, so this is a different divination than the previous chapter, just to let you know.
Well, it says the fees is italicized, so they add that part in there.
Yep, they just brought the divination. Yeah. They brought the divinations in the hands of them. That's what it says.
Hmm.
So that, yeah, that's not the fees of. Let's see what it says in King James Version. The rewards of divination. So this is the word right here, the root word, to practice divination, divination, witchcraft, divination. It looks like it's something that is specifically the wrong form of divination, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Divination by hire.
Yeah, it
Curses
sounds
and
like they
blessings.
like they went to like somebody and got some like information through a medium or something, and then
Yeah, and I
that's the
think that it,
information
it
they're
could also,
bringing.
yeah, he had very powerful verbal influence. I'll leave it like that.
Mm.
So like even a hypnotist would have that kind of a power, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, a very powerful suggestion or, influence over others. Because witchcraft in the form of scriptures is like manipulating others, right? It's about manipulation. It's not about interaction with the natural world, which has come to be known, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about people manipulation. So he's really good at people manipulation. Let's put it that way. All right, 9.
I think it's 8, isn't it? It's 8.
Oh, you're right. It is 8. My bad.
And he said to them, spend the night here, and I shall bring back word to you as Jehovah speaks to me. So the heads of Moab stayed with Balaam. And Elohim came to Balaam and said, who are these men with you?
All right, 1 second. Um, how do I? Yeah, I'm gonna turn off my video just to help with the speed. Sorry, guys. All right, so who's speaking to Balaam now? Elohim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the the unseen powers, right? The strong leads, the unseen strong leads. So people could say, well, this is not the creator, but you'll see in defense of Israel, it is righteous Elohim. Let's put it that way.
Well, in KJV it
All right,
says, and
verse
God,
10.
in KJV it says God came, and God came to Balaam. So.
Right, right. And this is that word when they say God, it can be transferable from God to angels to false deities to anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you could say, and gods, plural, went to Balaam.
Mm-hmm.
In this specific incident, it is, yeah, Elohim, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it could say, and gods, plural,
Mm-hmm.
came to Balaam and said, "What men are these?" Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, verse 10.
And Balaam said to Elohim, Balak, son of Zippor, sovereign of Moab, has sent to me, saying, See, a people has come out of
Go ahead.
Mitzrayim and cover the surface of the land. Come now, curse them for me. It might be that I am able to fight against them and drive them out.
All right. So it's hold on, let me see something. Okay, pasture them, cast them out. So it does not say that he wants to utterly destroy them. It says that he wants to get them out of the land. And by simply cursing these people, I'll be able to defeat them and kick them out so they don't come this way.
Mm.
All right, verse 12.
And Elohim said to Balaam, Do not go with them. You do not curse the people, for they are blessed.
Okay, we're getting a little bit closer to a deity or deities that defend Israel, right? So he's saying you can't curse these people; they're blessed. Now, you can make the extrapolation that it is the creator, but you make it definitive in the next verse.
And Balaam arose to the morning and said to the heads of Balak, Go back to your land, for Yehovah has refused to allow me to go with you.
All right, so now we're name sensitive creator, right? So this is a situation where this Balaam is not an Israelite, right? Yeah, he's having a communication with Yehovah because he's a diviner. He can verbally influence, so he hears as well as speaks with that authority. So he has some way that he taps into the spiritual realm, right? 14.
And the heads of Moab arose and went to Balak and said, Balaam refuses to come with us.
All right.
Then Balak sent heads more numerous and more esteemed than they. And they came to Balaam and said to him, This is what Balak son of Zippor said, Do not be withheld from coming to me, please.
All right, so heads is just also interpreted princes or the head turners. Do not withhold from coming to me, please.
I pray thee.
Nah. Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Oh, plea. Okay. Yep, I got it. All right.
For I esteem you very greatly, and whatever you say to me, I do. Therefore, please come, curse this people for me.
All right, so this esteem is glory. Same word translated as glory, heavy or liver. All right, 18.
And Balaam answered and said to the servants of Balak, Though Balak were to give me his house filled with silver and gold, I am unable to go beyond the word of Yehovah my Elohim to do less or more.
There we go. My Elohim. Okay, so now we know that he is indeed an acknowledger that Jehovah is his Elohim. So I was told, speaking of this story, that he was a bad guy, right? He uses witchcraft, right? He is able to bless and curse people. But he's a bad guy. He's on the other side. No. He worships Jehovah, his Elohim. Right? So this is very telling how when religion can't understand how a man can have power outside of Yisrael, is able to talk to Yehovah, is able to listen to Yehovah, is able to call Yehovah his Elohim, but it doesn't fit within the dynamics of what the religion thinks is a follower of Yah. But here, obviously, this man does have the ability to tap into hold on one second, the spirit realm, and is a servant of Yehovah. And he uses that to influence people. So it is possible to influence people and be in right standing with, or and be a worshiper of Yah, but that doesn't mean that Yah is okay with people influencing other people.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, when he was considering being hired to curse the Israelites, Yehovah's like, stop, can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 19.
And now please, you also stay here tonight and let me find out what more Yehovah says to me.
Okay.
And Elohim came to Balaam at night and said to him, if the men come to call you, rise and go with them, but only the word which I speak to you that you do.
All right, so he says, if the men come to you and call you again, okay, rise and go with them, but only the word, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, 21.
And Balaam rose in the morning and saddled his donkey and went with his heads of Moab.
Now, he said, if the men come and call you, all right? They didn't. He just packed up his stuff and went. All right, so now he's being disobedient to what Yah instructed him to do. He's like, wait for them to call on you again, and then when they call on you, I will tell you what to say. That's what he said. But instead, he just got up, put his saddle on his ass, and he went to Moab. All right?
All right. But the displeasure of Elohim burned because he went, and the messenger of Yehovah stationed himself in the way as an adversary against him, and he was riding his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him.
All right, so displeasure of Elohim, messenger Yehovah, adversary. Adversary is what? We talked about this earlier today.
Satan.
It's Satan.
Could it be Satan?
Now, obviously, this is not capitalized, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't choose the big S, because why would the big S do what the creator wants? Right?
Right.
Not only that, but if this was the big S, okay, which I don't even necessarily believe in. Okay, if this was the big S, why would he stop Balaam? What I forgot the pronunciation. Balaam. Why did he stop Balaam and do the will of Yehovah? Shouldn't he be doing the opposite? Shouldn't he be encouraging him, whispering in his ear, oh yeah, you should go to that king, you should curse Israel?
Mm-hmm.
None of that happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Satan's against him to do against the will of Yehovah. All right, 23.
And the donkey saw the messenger of Yehovah standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand, and the donkey turned aside out of the way and went into the field. So Balaam struck the donkey to turn her back onto the way.
All right, so this is a donkey seeing messenger Yehovah, all right,
Mm-hmm.
with a drawn sword, and reacted. All right, 24.
The messenger of Yehovah stood in a narrow passage between the vineyards, with a wall on this side and a wall on that side.
And a wall is just a walled environment and enclosure. So between the vineyards, I think the vineyards were like, growing on the wall or around the wall. So this is like a pathway through the vineyards.
Okay.
All right, 25.
And when the donkey saw the messenger of Yehovah, she pushed herself against the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall, so he struck her again. Oh, poor donkey.
Yeah, exactly. Donkey's trying to do good, and he's beating his ass, right?
Yeah.
So here again, the donkey saw. Now, I've seen incidences, and I'm sure others have had the same experience, where an animal will react to something that you don't see,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then all of a sudden you get a weird feeling. I think this is something that is a natural occurrence. that the donkey is reacting to the something that we can't see. Not necessarily anything, too different right
Mm-hmm.
now
Mm-hmm.
at this point. All right, verse 26.
And the messenger of Jehovah went further and stood in a narrow place where there was no way to turn aside right or left.
Okay, so this actually says, and messenger Jehovah Ivor. So this is where we get Hebrew, Ivri. So he crossed over. Okay, what that means in this instance is, you know, he's not in that same location. He crossed over to another. So this is what I think is happening at this point, is where he didn't just go further. He's starting to do the transition into the physical realm. And we're going to see that here in a few. So 27.
And when the donkey saw the messenger of Jehovah, she lay down under Balaam. So Balaam's displeasure burned, and he struck the donkey with his staff.
All right. Super mad. Donkey
Mm-hmm.
won't move.
Then
28.
Then Jehovah opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam, "What have I done to you that you have stricken me these 3 times?"
All
And
right. So now it's getting out of the typical.
yeah, now the donkey's
Now it's,
talking.
yeah, now it's like, what? So, yeah, now this is the time where Jehovah used the mouth of the donkey. And this is where, this is probably, the only couple of verses where I heard in church. Like they ignore all the all the pretense of it, and the after effect and everything like that. So, 29.
And Balaam said to the donkey, "Because you have mocked me, I wish there were a sword in my hand, for I would have killed you by now."
Yeah, you crushed my foot. You dropped to the ground. You're pissing me off. All right, 30.
And the donkey said to Balaam, "Am I not your donkey on which you have ridden ever since I became yours to this day? Was I ever known to do so to you?" And he said, "No."
Yeah, haven't I like been your donkey forever and done everything you asked me to? Have I ever been rebellious to you? And he's like, nah. All right, go ahead.
Then Jehovah opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the messenger of Jehovah standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand, and he bowed his head and fell on his face.
All right, there you go. So now he can see uh the messenger Jehovah. Um, Pulling. Okay, so the bowing is showing his crown or his scalp. Okay, so yeah, bowing. I was just seeing which bowing it was. Just wanted to make sure. Sorry. So showing his showing the top of his head. All right, 32.
And the messenger of Jehovah said to him, "Why have you struck your donkey these 3 times? See, I have come out to stand against you, because your way is reckless before me."
All right, so I've come out here. Let's see what King James Version has really quick. Withstand thee. Okay, withstand.
Mm-hmm.
This is Satan. Withstand. There it is right here. Yeah, so if I click on this, withstand, you can see opposition, oppose, and then I'll just go to King James Version, or sorry, the Strong's Concordance, and you can see it's Satan,
Mm-hmm.
like capital S, like, you know,
Arch
does it
enemy of
actually mean
good.
this capital S? Huh?
It says Satan, arch enemy of good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But this isn't somebody that's the arch enemy of good. This is someone that's doing the will of Jehovah. See, I've come to Satan you.
Yeah.
It's to oppose you, to be anti-Yah, right? Not in this case. This is anti-Balaam, right? It is opposition. That's
Mm-hmm.
all it is. So in this case, he's not being against good. against the creator. He's doing the will of the creator, standing against Balaam. So the word Satan is someone who is in opposition. That's it. All right, 33.
And the donkey saw me and turned aside from me these 3 times. If she had not turned aside from me, I certainly would have killed you by now and let her live.
I was saving your life for the sake of the donkey. It's what it's saying here. I mean, that's pretty intense, dude. So yeah, these 3 times, every time the donkey reacted, you're about to go against Yah, try to curse Israel, etc., 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 etc. All right, 34.
Mm-hmm. And Balaam said to the messenger of Jehovah, I have sinned, for I did not know you stood in the way against me, and now if evil is in your eyes, let me turn back.
Okay, and evil, of course, meaning dysfunctional, right? If you're going to cause me dysfunction, let me go back home. 35.
And the messenger of Jehovah said to Balaam, Go with the men, but only the word that I speak to you, that you speak. Balaam then went with the heads of Balak.
Okay, so remember, messenger Jehovah is not of, right? There's no of. Messenger Jehovah says, only speak the words that I speak. Well, that seems to have been exactly what Jehovah had said, right? You don't go that way unless you speak exactly what I spoke. So messenger Jehovah is the mouthpiece of Yah. It's not a separate or a opposing entity to Yah. All right, 36.
And when Balak heard that Balaam was coming, he went out to meet him at the city of Moab, which is on the border of Arnon, which was in the extremity of the border.
Okay, 37.
And Balak said to Balaam, Did I not urgently send to you, calling for you? Why did you not come to me, and am I not able to esteem you?
Okay, so glory you, right? Put you on a pedestal, make you hot stuff, right? This is that heavy, give you weight, So if you didn't come to me, was I not able to give you more weight, like, make you a very important person, etc.? All right, 38.
And Balaam said to Balak, See, I have come to you. Now am I at all able to say somewhat the word that Elohim puts in my mouth that I speak?
All right.
And Balaam went with Balak, and they came to Kiryat Hutzot.
Yep, city of the division. All right.
And Balak slaughtered cattle and sheep, and he sent some to Balaam and to the heads who were with him.
All right, so the king is like, maybe if I just make a offering, it'll appease Elohim.
And it came to be in the morning that Balak took Balaam and brought him up to the high places of Baal. And from there he saw the extremity of the camp.
So he's not worshiping Jehovah, is he? This is Baal, right? Now, it can get confusing because Baal just means the Lord, because he worshipped the Lord, because that's what Baal means. Baal means Lord. So he's a worshiper of the Lord, and he wants to make a sacrifice to the Lord, but it's not gonna work out, and we'll see that in the next couple chapters. Now, let's see, go back here for okay, verse 38. Balaam said to Balak, See, now I've come to you. Now am I at all able to say somewhat the word which Elohim puts in my mouth, that I speak? So this would mean he is a prophet, because he only speaks the word of Yehovah. So he's a prophet of Yehovah coming to a king who worships Baal. So that's very contextual, and the opposition of what I learned in churchianity. So there you go. it just goes to show you, like how confusing things can get when you throw religious, belief systems in there. All right, going over to the chat now. Shout out to Lincoln Sharp, Mariah Jordan, or Maria. That's cool.
Mariah, that
Anyway,
sounds right. I think you
yeah,
were right the first time.
yeah. In Hebrew, it would be Maria. But anyway, Jason H, Justin Johnson, Valley Parks, Aisling 717. What's up, Cammy? FE Nation. Let's see, did I say Valley Parks already? Yep, Valley Parks. Salted Cedar, Thunder Chicken, Musicians for Truth. Good to see you, brother. Lord Racer, Flat Gaza, and Sabaner. Excuse me if I pronounced that wrong. Effed Up World, Anson Howard. Yeah, you've seen all those greens because of those gifted memberships, man. Green, green, green. Let's see. TCZ Amman, TCZ Amman, John Keeley, Alex Javier, Nails and Nails, Nails and Snails, Nails and Snails. Okay. Nathan Reed, Boston Ray, Brian Stavely, Joseph Osborne, Brandon Cook, Kurt, and 16 Alpha V. Yep, I think I got everybody. All right, let's see if there's any questions or statements. A lot of gifted memberships in here. Space ain't stupid. If it wasn't there, wouldn't be. If it wasn't there, we wouldn't be here. Water's above us below. Okay. I don't know. That's confusing. Does Nightbot automatically respond space is scientifically impossible?
Yeah, if somebody says something about space.
That's pretty cool. Space between water. Shabbat Shalom from Traverse City, Michigan. That's TC Zaman. I can relate to the blessing and cursing power. Yeah. I know people who speak curses over people and crap happens. I see it all the time. But just because you have that ability doesn't mean you should go against the creator. In fact, that all the more reason you should be in line with the creator. Greeting statement for Jack. Happy bah humbug. Yeah. It's been a rough couple of weeks and it's getting worse. Thank goodness it only got a couple weeks more to deal with this crap.
Yeah, it's almost over.
Mary Flatness. Yeah, I go through the stores and I say, Chris my ass. Anyway, let's see. Question. Who is Balak and how did he tap into unconventionally the creator? Yeah, I don't know that it was unconventionally. That there's nothing saying that he wasn't already a worshiper and prophet of Yah that lived in a far off distant place. I mean, there's no background story of Balaam as a prophet. So I missed that in the question, but yeah, let's not get confused. Balaam's the prophet. So how he tapped into the creator, don't know. Maybe it was because he was in the middle of nowhere. Who knows? Hijack from Brian Stavely. Don't say that on a plane because that's dangerous if you say hijack. Sue Finelli, good to see you. How much do we know which God is spoken about here? Obviously, that was a few verses before we hit it. Not here, but what was read. Yeah. So he was a prophet and he was practicing divination as well. Yes. Yes. Exactly. So, yeah. the source of divination is usually the problem, right? So a lot of divination comes from speaking to spirits of the dead, which were called the fathers, those who worship their dead fathers. They're also they also call it necromancy, right? Invoking spirits that are not Yah to get information and power, etc., etc. So I believe in those things. I don't believe in their origin story that some believe, but I absolutely believe in entities around. So, all right, I guess that's it for the chat as well. So, shout out to Badfish Bear because he just popped up, and JB Rants. All right. Anything else, Karen?
I don't believe so.
All right. I guess we'll tap back in next week, if all goes accordingly. Sorry we were late today, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, we're like an hour behind.
Yeah, no biggie.
All right, well, thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of Anti-Religious Scripture Study, and we hope you have a restful rest of your day.
Yes.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, and the earth is still flat.
The earth is still flat.